What is going on, everybody? Mike Stadler here with The Obsession. We are back at my property today, here this weekend. It is middle March. We were in here on Monday, dropping trees. It's kind of a beautiful mess right now. Getting the ash and the aspen trees down on the ground, opening up our canopy to get more light to the floor. Getting some, more bedding on the ground and cover for entry exits. So I'm in here today. I'm looking at basically this right in front of me. As you can see, it's a pretty big mess. They're going to want to bed in here. This is an east-west that I'm traveling. You can see how this is here into bedding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a nice trail through this on this top side to allow those deer to still stay hidden and walk this trail east-west back towards this other bedding, which is here on this hillside, and also be able to hunt them from this sand set. We've taken 2 good bucks out of there the last 2 years, so we want to keep this movement going east-west. So I'm going to start on that project here. That's the before. Like I said, we're going to get a trail cut in there. This pond down here is a pond that we are going to be pulling out and moving on the other side of this ridge. Try to pull deer up and over the top. We want them to travel east-west here. It's a nice tangled mess, but we got to give them some paths to go to that they like the least resistance. We kind of like what's done here. We just got to make it work to our advantage. So stick around, we're going to show you that. What's going on, everybody? So we were back here. I was talking about cutting an opening through here. So here you can see now what this looked like before. Got a nice opening running east-west. This ridge. Our stand set. We've taken 2 big bucks out of last couple of years right there. East-west up high. Nice and thick down below, so they're going to feel safe. Hopefully is the plan. Can walk right through all of this. Probably going to bed up in here in the mornings. And kind of here just goes into our old bedding that we kind of had before. So real thick down below. So hopefully this works well to get them east-west up here high. We're going to do a little bit more work down on this end and move a couple of big trees. And we're also going to get this floor of this forest to start growing up. We're going to get a lot of light in here. So just walking back through. Phil just showed up. I'm going to put a saw in his hand. So we'll show you the rest of our work here in a little bit. So what is up, everybody? We are down here in my big plot out there. This is my big bedding here, my main bedding. So we dropped this edge here really thick, hoping that they're not going to bed right in that. They should be bedded back behind that more. This here we have to open up. This was my main trail into the bedding. So we are going to open that up. Might just leave this here. But the whole point was to soften this edge, and by when I say a soften this edge, is thicken this edge real thick. So they're going to want to still bed behind, but gives us a little bit entrance into our main stand right there. It will be tight, but it always is tight to them here. You're always about 70 to 80 yards from them bedding. But that is a rut only stand. That's late October, early November where we want to hunt that. And we decoy out of that a lot, but this forces them again to come back out of this bedding and into this plot. And once they get past this barrier, they're shootable. That's the thing. So we got some work to do down here. See what we can get done. Go back in here again. Yeah, we're going to show you what we did. There's that trail now. Cut all the way back into the bedding. We pushed all this back. So nice thick wall. Pushed all this back. It's so thick there. They shouldn't want the bed in that. They should want a bed behind it. But it's so thick. So Bill's got to cut just a couple more limbs here, so trail that we opened up. This was their main trail that they used anyway, and on this bedding. You can see she's wide open, real big thick wall for them to bed behind, and then the plot way out there. So see here, coming out real thick. They're probably not going to be in this, they're going to be back behind it. So that is our plan. Hopefully it works. So stick around. Hopefully we show you some more stuff coming up here. But like I said, mid-March, trying to get some of these projects done. Now that the weather is kind of decent, even though we're supposed to get hammered here tomorrow. Here's this big heavy wall here. Main trail that Phil cut open. So now it forces them to come around this. There's our stand, our big food plot for late October, early November. Have to come around this. Obviously this out here be a lot easier to call to these deer. They cannot see now out this far. You're still going to have to be nice and easy getting in, but we should have pushed them back far enough, and actually we made our bedding a little thicker on the edges here so that they don't want to lay so tight to this plot. Gave them more bedding, but more seclusion, and also we gave them good cover for in the north, or for the north winds, especially late in the year. It gives them the low thermal cover to bed in here when the temps get real low. So stick around, I'll show you some more stuff later. Check out the Obsession. Yeah, buddy.